first update in a long time, but I've had not very good experiences since the last video that I uploaded. Um, I've been having some problems with people that have been harassing people outside my house and sort of just staking out my house in general. I'll describe this in detail, and it's all the police got involved, and it's a big thing. Um, Pretty much, I began to notice, and other people, like my family and my neighbors had noticed there's these people that were parking cars around my house and taking notes and doing like sort of surveillance type activities, like taking photographs and things like that. And when they're approached by somebody, it's like very hostile, sort of like approaching a Secret Service, agent, where they don't acknowledge that you're there, they don't respond to you, they don't, you know, nothing like that. Um, so I had several of these guys that were parked around my house from about late July of 2021. And, I mean, up till today, it's still going on. But for several months, and at first, like any normal person, I thought, maybe I'm going crazy, that maybe I'm becoming too paranoid. I thought, maybe it's just a private investigator, because I, I'm involved in a lawsuit. I got involved into a car accident that was like somebody else's fault, and they're trying to blame me. And so I don't know if this is like a private investigator or if it's like somebody hired by like this other party that I'm involved in this lawsuit with, that they're coming to my house and trying to do whatever. And I tried to ignore it completely. I didn't say anything. I didn't acknowledge it. I did not, you know, call the police. I didn't do anything. I pretended like they didn't even exist. I just went about my daily activities just like normal, you know, completely ignored it. Um, and then it was actually my neighbors who ended up calling the police 3 times, I think, or maybe it's 4 times. And the police would be called, they call 911. Um, the dispatcher would notify like a patrol car in the area. And when that happened, the people would leave. They were saying, I'm trying not to be involved in this at all. I'm trying to be completely like, I don't know who these people are, like whatever. I know, that's probably from this Bain Capital, or these people I've been, speaking out against, or like, screwing over, making them lose revenue or whatever. But I didn't say anything. But because the people were parked in front of my house and they were harassing people and intimidating people, and people were like fearing for their lives. Like my neighbor, he took a Glock handgun to like go confront them because he thought that they were, going to do something bad to like his children. So the police, after they got called, they came up to my house and they were asking me. They interviewed me. Do you know these people? And are you letting them park in front of your house to intimidate people? And I said no. Like I don't know who these people are. And they said, are you aware that they were there? Like, did you have knowledge that they were there during this whole time? And at that point, I'm forced to admit, up to that point, I tried to pretend it's not happening. I pretend it's not real. But I'm talking to the police, and I have to say, under threat of like, you know, perjury or like giving false information to the police. I said, yeah, I know they're there. It's like they come every day at the same time. They park there. They stay like between these hours, and they do this and that. And they took all that information from me. And they said we can't. They checked with like superiors or whatever, like lieutenants, and they were like, we can't do anything. So it was bizarre because you have, the police, they come up and they ask you, like all these questions, and then they say this doesn't matter and it's not a crime and we can't do anything. So why did they come ask me questions to begin with? It doesn't make any sense. And um my neighbor, or I have multiple neighbors that live in like an urban area. One of my neighbors is a police officer, so, or ex-police officer. He's not active, like on the force, but he said, like, based on his observations, of like how these people are behaving, that it was indicative of something that would be, like they're waiting to do something that's criminal. Like if somebody was parked like that outside of a bank or any sensitive building like that, they would immediately like pull them over and ask some questions about what they're doing, why they're there, all that sort of stuff. So very suspicious activity. And my neighbor, you know, a different neighbor, not the police officer, he ended up he was really scared. This is the same guy who had the Glock in his pocket and walked up to him and was confronting him and trying to get them to leave. um he went to a police station, substation. I live in a major city, so trying to refrain from giving too precise of a location, even though I think it's kind of a moot point because they have cars parked outside my house. But he went and tried to have the people at the police station run the license plates. So the police ran the license plates of these suspicious vehicles or whatever that were parked, outside my house, and just in the general area around my house. And the police said, we're not we're the what they said to him, and this is secondhand. This is what I heard from him, is that they said, we are not allowed to give you that information, but that individual is allowed to belong in that area, in a very cryptic, like weird way. And so my neighbor, he's got like little kids and like a family. He, like, in his mind, he has no idea about my past. He has no idea about everything that I've said on this channel or anything related to Bain Capital or anything. So in his mind, like he's thinking like these are like pedophiles or something that are trying to stake out his house and kidnap his kids. He doesn't know that these people are really trying to intimidate me. So what I did, because I was in the position to do so, is through my attorney, I hired a private investigator that went out and actually like stalked these people that were stalking me. And I did some things that were not strictly legal. Um, but I ran the license plate numbers. I mean, through the private investigator, through law enforcement databases, and all sorts of different databases. And I was able to come up with a 28-page report on who these people are, who owns their vehicles, um, where they, like the at least the individuals, that are driving them, um, when they're being parked there. The there's a bizarre aspect. These cars, they no, the title for the car is owned by like many different companies and individuals who may or may not exist. Uh, it's like 10 different, like a mix of different companies that have no relation to each other, and you know, individuals who live in multiple different states who have different names, who have no relation to each other, who, if I look their names up online, it's like they don't exist. And this is like the title is split between all these different people or whatever. This is the information that I got from the private detective, and they, I mean, I got more information on some of these individuals, but it's not very good. And take it a step further, um, not last night, but the night before last night, I think that one of these people who had been staking out my house, or whoever, I don't know who, actually broke into my house while I was sleeping and probably messed around on my computer, because when I came, I the night when I went to sleep, I was really tired. I was totally exhausted. I was dead beat tired. I mean, I had been up for a long time. I'd been working like really hard, so I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning and I come, to where this computer is that I'm talking to you now on. It's in a different room, and there's like a piece of paper left on the chair, and it's at first I thought it was trash, and then I noticed there was writing on it, and it looked like gibberish, but I noticed that it looked a lot like file names, like for a computer. And I noticed NIC in there for like network interface card. Like what is in your computer that lets you connect to the internet. And so I looked it up more, what was written on this piece of paper, and maybe I'll throw that in the description, although I don't know if it'll provide any insight. But these are like drivers, firmware for like a network interface card, like or device, like if when you plug like a Ethernet or like internet into your computer in the back, or you use wireless internet, it's like the software, but it's that runs that hardware or whatever that allows it to communicate like between your computer and the internet. Except, it seemed like these were compromised files. Like they were written in such a way that it's technically like how you would load them off a USB drive, like onto a computer. So it'd mean that somebody would have to physically gain access to my house, physically gain access to my computer, insert a USB drive, upload these drivers for the part of my computer that connects to the internet. And these drivers are, corrupted or like whatever, compromised in that, like whatever I'm, uploading to the internet or talking to people or any internet connectivity between me and the outside world is now monitored and sent to like a third party. And so, yeah, that's kind of why I haven't been making videos. Um, I wanted this to kind of be short to explain like the severity of like what's going on and the fact that the police are involved now, and it could end with like very negative results. I mean, there's like people brandishing like firearms in front of my house. Um, the police are like completely powerless, or whether on accident or on purpose, to like do anything about it. So, you know, it's not like really a joke, you know. It and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I really believe like deeply that um that they're probably going to try to kill me. I'm reasonably confident that they're going to try to kill me when they have the opportunity to do so. And it may seem drastic and crazy, and it's maybe schizophrenic, or like I'm a crazy guy or whatever, but I really do, like, at this point, fear for my life. And I don't believe that the police or the FBI or the federal government or there's nobody that will help me. I really feel like it's just me against these people, and I'm really on the losing side of it because I'm one guy with a gun versus like, 10 people with guns, and like, ex-military, ex-police training, and I have to sleep sometime. It's like I can't stay awake like 24 hours a day just like watching out my window for the moment these people decide to kick in my door or whatever. And then, yeah, they'll say I committed suicide or it was an accidental death or something like that. But I don't know. It just, when this is the way the world works, and the price that you pay for speaking up really in a very minuscule way, what's really the point of it at all? What's the point of raising a family or like building up a business or doing anything when it's all based on a system that operates like this and allows things like this to happen? Kind of disgusting. But I've been ranting for too long. That's kind of like the gist of what's going on. So I'm probably not gonna be like talking much more. Not for like the foreseeable future. I'm more like sitting in my living room, with a 357 Magnum, um, all night, watching these guys that are parked in cars outside my house. So this is the reality. Bain Capital, CRC Health, Aspen Education Group, Lori Wilmot. This is sickening, yeah. But this is how I'm living now. So, believe it or don't, take it with a grain of salt, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But that's reality. So, good luck to you and wish you the best. God bless.